Hello chaps, and welcome to my build update number 4 for the Revell 1/72 scale Handley page Halifax B.III, kit number 04936. This is my first entry into the Bomber Command buddy build that I'm hosting both on here and on Facebook. In this update we're going to look at weathering and final assembly. So to start off weathering, I mixed some black with a bit of white to make a grey wash, thinned down with odourless mineral spirits. I spread that liberally all over the dark underside and the dark fuselage sides. I then mixed a dark dirt wash just with black oil paint thinned down with odourless mineral spirits and applied that all over the top. Let it dry for an hour and then rubbed the excess off the bottom and the sides, and you can see it's left a nice grey in the panel lines and some tonal variation. And also on the top side you can see dark panel lines from the dirt wash. And then I moved on to putting those two O decals onto the wheel oleo struts, and then moved on to making an acrylic wash using a brown oak detail wash, black, and a bit of rust, and I use that to do some tonal variations all over the model. It's the underside. It's very subtle, but it is there. I'm not sure if you're going to see it on your screens. I can see it on my screen. It's a big 27-inch screen. That's the rear end of the plane we're looking at now, tail end. That's the front end, and you can see I've applied chip in there as well on the leading edges around the engine nacelles. I then did some chipping and that red wash on the wheel bay doors and on the oleo struts, and that was followed by the propellers, make them look worn and weathered, and the wheel struts and main wheels and tail wheel. And then weathered the bombs. That's 4 of a total of 10 bombs, and when they were done I sealed everything in with a flat clear coat, and also clear coated the model itself, and you can see it looks a lot better now that without the gloss shine. The detail stands out more. And that's the underside. You can see all the different tones going on. I then moved on to removing the liquid mask off those two windows. There's a lot more windows, but there's only a couple on the rear end, both sides, that are visible. And then I removed the masking tape off the two front windows, canopy and the gun pod, and the two windows on either side of the front end of the fuselage there. And then the two windows on the top of the fuselage. I then removed the temporarily located bomb bay doors. They had to be cut, separated. I then removed all the actuators for the bomb bay doors, the bomb racks, the landing lens there, pitot tubes, and got them ready for painting, clean them up. Painted the landing lens silver, and then glued the actuators onto the bomb bay doors after cleaning them up. And all the little parts there, aileron, limiters and the pitot tube there. They're the bomb racks and an antenna rail at the front. They're all glued, ready to paint. There they are, all the small details with black primer. I used Stynol Res. Let that dry and then painted all those parts. There they are, painted, ready to be assembled. The actuators are now painted on the bomb bay doors there, and I did some weathering on the bomb bay doors and the wheel bay doors in the middle. I then took a grey pencil and a burnt sienna pencil to do some streaking and staining. So use the grey to do sort of water damage streaks, water fading and sun bleaching, and the burnt sienna for doing oil and fuel streaks and some staining around the engine nacelles, etc. I don't know whether I've overdone it, but I always experiment. You don't know what it's going to look like until you do it. I mean, when you do these close-up views, it always looks far more exaggerated than when you do a shot from a distance. I then moved on to doing some mud splatter on the back ends of the wheel bays there, and the same on the tail end wheel. A bit of splattering, mud staining. and then use that mud splatter wash on the wheels themselves and on the wheel bay doors. Then it was on to assembling everything. There are the main wheels in place, followed by the tail end wheel. And there she is standing on her 3 feet. I always glue everything in with super glue so it sets fast. And there the wheel bay doors are in place now, followed by the bomb bay doors, and the bomb racks has 6 bombs in place even though they give you 10. There's the antenna rail there and the pitot tube in front of it. And then that strut that goes over the top of the rear gun turret acts as a bearing housing to allow that to rotate. And then assembled the starboard side propellers, followed by the port side. And then I glued in the front machine gun onto the front end of that caniper. And then put on that elliptical shaped antenna pod, followed by the aileron limiters or counterbalance weights, I'm not sure what they are. And that's the opposite wing in place. And then mixed some flat black with some brown thinned down Everlear with about 75-80% thinner to do exhaust stains, and some oil stains around the nacelles there. And there's exhaust stain airbrushed on there. I then used a sable colour thinned down to do lead deposits on top of that exhaust stain, and you can see like the white misting. And that's the other exhaust there. And after that, the last thing to do was to put some easy line in for antenna cables. Use fine 10th thou thick, always located in place with a dab of CA glue put in place with a cocktail stick. And that's it, guys. She's assembled and all ready for the final reveal. So thanks for following this build along, thanks for watching this update, and thanks for all your comments, much appreciated. Until the final reveal, tally-o, chocks away.